Welcome to Decades of Horror, the 1980s.
Look, Miss Hoity Toity, the woman cannot answer the goddamn door because she can't get out of her goddamn bed. Is that goddamn clear enough for you? Is it?
Yeah, sure, Sally, sure.
Yeah, whatever you
This
say.
is episode 278, recorded February 4th, 2025.
Gruesome Magazine.
Before we do anything else,
Uh-oh.
I just want to get this over with.
Okay.
Ah,
What is that?
That
That's
is
Rory
Rory
Calhoun.
Calhoun.
That's Rory? Wow.
Getting out his horse in like 1958 on the Texan.
the horse looks like he's trying to talk. Hey, Wilbur.
And
You're heavy.
Oh, he had a cool. I just loved him so much. It's such a bromance. I mean, he's got the silver studs on his leather vest, and he's got a Pinot horse. And
Yep.
the music was cool.
I got
and-
spurs that jingle, jangle, jingle.
Okay,
Hey, I know that because of Fallout.
and there may actually be a reason why I put that up, but we'll see. And you can blame that on Chad because he's the one that found it.
Well,
That's awesome.
I am your host, Jeff Mohr, and this podcast is about horror films released between 1980 and 1989. Each episode, my co-hosts Bill Mulligan, Chris Cleveland, and Chad Hunt, and I will tackle another classic or not so classic film from this radical, gory, influential, and gruesome decade. And as we all know, classic or not so classic is in the eye of the beholder.
That's
uh-oh.
Joining me tonight.
That sounds like a pregame apology.
Yeah.
For you, actress and YouTuber. How you doing, Crystal?
I'm great. I'm this is a movie I hadn't seen before, but I do remember this cover. So I'm
Yeah.
to talk about.
Yeah.
Not what I
Hey,
expected.
before we go any farther, did you watch Blue Monkey?
I did not.
Oh,
I didn't watch
okay.
it.
Lucky
Did I
you.
miss anything?
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. Okay.
Well, you didn't miss a blue
Oh.
monkey. We know that.
No, you didn't miss a blue monkey.
I like.
Was there a
Blue
monkey at all?
No,
I did too.
You
Not a-
liked it, Chad?
Yeah.
I liked it. It was
Yeah,
just
I did, yeah.
easy, good creature feature.
Canadian.
So I
No
might like
monkeys.
it.
No blue monkeys. No
But-
red monkeys.
We have a couple of letters on that. So
Oh, good.
Oh.
Are they from
also joining us is Chad Hunt, comic book artist and co-host of Decades of Horror, the classic era, and Decades of Horror, the 1970s. Chad, how you doing?
Not good.
Well, thanks for watching anyway.
You're welcome.
Horrible.
Last but not least is Bill Mulligan, writer, director, special effects guru, and co-host of Decades of Horror, the 1970s.
And
How you doing, Bill?
I'm doing fine.
Published
Hey,
author.
you know what? Unlike
Oh, and published author. Yeah, did you have
Yeah.
your...
unlike some people who call their movie Blue Monkey and neglect to put any monkeys in it, my book is called Ram, and there is an actual demon, and his name is indeed Ram. I
Well, there you
I am
go.
not pulling the rug. I am not trying to, fleece you here. Your $10 will get you a story about a demon named Ram, as
But I-
promised by the cover.
But I think you should have put a blue monkey on the cover, though.
I'm thinking
Ooh.
about it.
See,
Or at least that poster art.
spark interest, yeah.
Yeah. That was actually pretty good.
Also with us is Chad. Already did Chad.
Yeah.
I'm already
Yeah.
here.
He's horrible, remember?
I
He's
wanted to see
horrible.
if he was better than he was when I.
No.
Yeah.
No, okay. Well, Decades of Horror and Gruesome Magazine are partnering with Playout Media on several of their channels, and in fact, Decades of Horror of the 1980s is on the Wicked Horror TV channel. They're streaming channels. You can watch stuff for free without subscribing. You can subscribe and not pay, but you'll still have to watch ads, or you can subscribe and pay the fee. And the fee is $6.99 a month or $49.99 a year. So all of our episodes all of our video episodes are streaming on there, and but that we have a promo code for you. So if you enter DOH80, DOH all caps 80, you get 20% off your first payment.
100%.
Yeah, Buddy will not like that. So anyway, you get 20% off. So your first payment, $1.40 off the monthly, your first month, or $10 off the annual fee, and it would be like $39.99. 0.1.
Bad deal.
Something. Yeah, it's a very good deal. And lots of good stuff on there. So check that out. On this podcast, we start by giving some basic details of the film we are covering, followed by each of our first impressions of the movie, and then we'll move into a general discussion of whatever trips our trigger. Most of the time it relates to the film, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes
that's
the
debatable.
film's real actually horror.
Spoiler alert, we will. Oh, wait a minute. We'll get into that. All right.
Yeah.
So the movie we're talking about is Angel.
Oh my God.
Oh my God,
Oh, wow. Oh, you are shameless.
This
From
is the real
1984.
reason why we're watching this movie.
That's
It
right.
is.
Yeah,
It really is.
that's probably true.
So
But he was good, so that's yeah.
So, yeah, I forgot. Oh, I always wait to see what images Bill creates before I decide what to put on this. And since he didn't have one of Rory Calhoun,
No.
Bill Longley, the Texan,
What was I thinking?
I don't know. An image totally not related to this movie, other than it's one of the actor's former roles, is on this card. So, Angel. Now, God, I hate this, but IMDb says 1983, but I'm saying 1984, and I'll tell you why later. Directed by Robert Vincent O'Neill, written by Robert Vincent O'Neill and Joseph Michael Cala. Cast includes Donna Wilkes, Cliff Gorman, Susan Terrell, Dick Shawn, Rory Calhoun, and John Deal. Production company, Adams Apple Film Company and New World Pictures. Filming locations in California and Hollywood, North Hollywood, Culver City. Filming dates June 1st to the 28th, 1983. Now here's where it gets weird. The release date is November 2nd, 1983, which is, I guess, why IMDb says it's a 1983 release, but that was at a film marketing expo in Italy. And it was actually first released to the public or commercially January 13th, 1984.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
History this movie is.
I'd say roughly 2/3 of the sources say it's a 1984 movie and a third say it's 1983. So, oh well. And surprising, probably to Chad, is the budget was about $1.3 million.
Very surprised. What in the hell did they spend $1.3 million on in this
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
that's surprising. It had to
Even
be the
more
actor.
surprising to Chad is the box office was $17.5 million.
Jesus.
Mucho
And,
dinero.
Ultimate Movie Ranking said $21.2 million.
movie? Yeah, that's
So-
why there were two sequels.
That's yeah.
It is.
Oh my God. Oh my God. But did you
There's a-
see what they said about that second sequel? Okay, I got on their IMDb for
Yeah.
Avenging Angel. It says Avenging. Wait, where is it? Oh God bless. It's like former baby prostitute.
Ooh.
What
Oh,
the heck?
yeah, they're going for the
Wrong.
sleeve.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was called Angel 2, The Stroller.
Oh God.
Ah.
Oh.
Oh God.
All
All
right. The synopsis. High schooler Molly secretly earns her living as Angel, a street prostitute whose only family and friends are the ones she works with on the streets. She must survive against a serial killer who is targeting people of her profession.
Mhm.
And that she does.
And before Chad pipes in with, there's no horror in that, let's point out that this killer, and I'm frozen for absolutely no reason.
That's what you get.
Yeah, for disagreeing with you. This killer is a necrophiliac mutilator. I don't want to
Yeah.
beat a
I
dead
mean,
horse,
this is-
but that's pretty much
The
that's
story
horror.
is horror. You
Hey, I'm
might
gonna
not-
I'm gonna
I don't
log
think-
out and log
I
right
don't think
back on.
Chad
I do
is
not-
disagreeing that it's horror. He's
Oh, yes.
just
Oh, he
deciding
is.
whether it's
He's
good
been
or not.
you have not heard
What?
his whining. Listen.
He said next
Oh.
time we'll pick a horror movie.
My whining.
All right, I'm gonna log out. Don't talk about me. I'll be right back.
All right.
Well, I do know that there is, a group of people who think that if there's a police investigation, it's not a horror movie. But I don't agree with that.
No,
I mean, he
think
is a necrophiliac.
Serial killer. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Silence of the
And
Lambs.
I mean, there's not a lot of gore. I mean, I too am shocked that this cost over $1 million. It's got to be the actors. It's got to be because of the actors.
Yeah.
I think it's.
There's nothing else.
I think
There's
it's those three main ones basically. Four.
Although I also wonder, did they have to pay a lot for the locations considering they shot on Hollywood
there I
Boulevard
am.
and stuff?
They did not pay anything for the locations.
No.
In fact, they didn't even get a permit.
What?
They said, according to the interview I saw,
It's crazy.
The whoever it was the writer or the director, right? I think it was the director, said that the whoever would be the the production manager or whatever found out their permits were on pink, and he folded up a piece of pink paper, put it in his shirt pocket, and whenever the cops came around, he tapped his pocket.
Yeah, there you go.
And it worked.
That's what they claim.
It's a good tip right there.
Well, I believe it. I mean,
I think
why not?
it costs a lot of money because it looks really good. This is
It does look
extremely
good.
well shot in color, and it's got
quality.
high production values.
Well, one of the things that costs probably a little more, I mean, so this surprises me. I just assume this is set on Hollywood Boulevard, and they make it look like the thing is hopping and running until midnight, and they said the place shuts down at 9:00 in terms of all the businesses.
That's kind of true. Yeah.
So the lights go off and all that stuff. So they
even in
had
2000.
he said they had like 2 hours to shoot every day when they did the night stuff on the boulevard, because any earlier it was too light out, and any later everything was shut down. So anyway, let's get to first impressions, and this is my pick, so I'm going to go first. And yes, I originally watched this because of Rory Calhoun.
Wow.
I love Rory Calhoun too.
I do too.
Not as much as Jeff does.
No, that's true.
Jeff has some kind of weird fixation on Rory Calhoun that I
It's
can't.
Western. It's Western stars, like,
Mrs. Rory Calhoun doesn't love Rory Calhoun as
no,
much.
she doesn't. He does.
Oh, she called, by the way, and said, "Stop sending letters to her house."
So, I don't know. I don't think Rory was he was a carouser. That would be a polite way to say it, I think.
Okay.
But the anything that I've read about people working with him said he was a really pleasant and fun guy to be around on the set. Anyway,
Send $15.99 to P.O. Box 666 and get your free Rory Calhoun decoder ring, everybody.
I hate to say this, but whenever we do a movie with him, I search on the internet and I found, when you're a kid and you could get like plastic horses, about 8 inches tall with a guy riding on it, you could get those for the Texan. He's on a Pinto and he's got a little black vest and his black hat.
That's neat.
Did you get one?
Did you get overnight shipping, or did you just get?
No, they're kind of pricey.
Yeah.
They know the lovers of Rory are fanatic. Anyway, why do I love a TV and B movie Western guy? I don't know, other than that's what I used to watch with my dad, and
That's all the reason you need.
kind of reminds me of my dad in that show. He's there's a little bit of a similar look, etc. So anyway, getting back to the movie. So I like this. The first time I watched, it's got rough spots, and you can like or dislike the acting, I think, either way, but I don't think it's bad. I just think it's choices you might disagree with. But I love the characters. I loved Susan Terrell. I thought she was awesome. I want to find more stuff with her, and I guess she's a really quirky.
Is that
character.
the Solly character then?
Yeah,
That's all.
Yeah.
Okay. Was she also in? God, I've seen her in something. that
Butcher
she was
Baker,
so-
Nightmare
sorry,
Maker?
We'll talk. No,
No?
no.
Yeah,
gotta
she's
think about
been in a variety of things. So
Is she
yeah,
a
we'll
crybaby?
Yeah, she's a
get to that.
character.
Yes, she was. Yes, she was a crybaby.
Okay.
Um, So anyway, so I like that. I like the setting. Yes, there's some sleaze factor. I mean, this one has maybe the all-time sleaziest line when the guy says, "You better not be older than 14," or
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Oh
uh,
dear God. Or I'm gonna kick you back because you're too
it's
old.
something like that. Yeah.
God.
And that guy, by the way, was I'll look him up. I forget his name, but he was in Prince of Darkness. He was one of the scientists.
Yeah.
So anyway, I loved it. I loved Rory Calhoun. I loved the way it turned out. I was so bummed the first time I saw it until the end. There's a point there where, and so Dick Shawn is a goofball, and I thought Cliff Gorman did a pretty good job too. I was impressed with him as the cop, with the exception of the fact that when he finds out she's only 15, she's living alone and she's a prostitute, he does nothing about it.
I don't
Social
think he
services.
should, though. I don't think he should. I think he was right there.
Well, I think he was too, but I can't. I'd have a hard time picturing a cop doing that. I guess. Maybe. I'm wrong.
You ever met an LA cop?
Usually they're more morally ambiguous.
Well, and the people that are watching the strip there too are going to be a little more
open,
used to that, I think. Anyway, I like it. John Deal, he played a pretty goofy serial killer, but I thought there was some creepy stuff in there. I just took goofy body language and stuff is just creep out. All right, I'm gonna quit talking. And you know what? I kind of like the title song too.
Oh, I like that.
The music was really good. I like the music.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's just get this over with. Yeah. Had you seen this before? What were your first impressions?
Hell no, I had never seen this before, and had no intentions of watching this crap. When I saw it in the video stores, I walked right by it with like Pee Wee and the Snakes and Pee Wee Herman. I just. I couldn't find a lot of stuff to like about this. I liked the music was good. I really liked the music. It's had sort of that Miami Vice feel to it that I liked. I liked Solly a lot. I love that actress. Whatever she's in, I love her. She's just funny as hell, and she was in this. She made me laugh, and the rest of it was just, I had the toughest time getting through it. I was just, it wasn't even an interesting serial killer. John Deal, I liked him. I like him as an actor. I like him in Miami Vice and a couple other things. But that scene where he's like scrubbing.
Yeah.
That's what I went and did after I watched this. So dirty. I'm so dirty. This is, I don't know. I just do not consider this horror at all. It's a crime drama, and for a crime drama, it's not that bad. I found a lot of the street people kind of interesting. Interesting characters. I don't know. It seems like it's for. I don't know who this movie's for. It seems like it wants to be a CW TV show at some points, and then other points it's straight up like Policewoman or some cop procedural or something. And I didn't care for any of the characters. So what if I don't care if she's 15 and she's a prostitute. I don't care. You reap what you sow in life.
Sure, parents died.
Well,
Wendy's is right around the corner.
She couldn't get hired at Wendy's because she's too young. She was 12.
But she's not too young to be a prostitute. So
But
you got to go.
Well, because it's illegal.
Yeah, there you are.
Okay. Anyway, I did not enjoy this at all, and save for a few scenes. The ending I liked with Rory came back and shot the guy up. With John Deal going, it hurts, it hurts. give me a fucking break. But anyway, that's just I'm just touching on the hatred that I have for this movie.
I'm not going to try to convince you otherwise.
Nope.
Okay, so this was the first time I saw it. Okay, I've never seen this before, and okay, so I loved all the acting in this. I really did. I liked the actors. I think that it is a very quality film. It's shot well. You know, I liked, for the most part, most of all of the production. I will say that what is ridiculous is the story. The funniest part is, I mean, it starts off immediately ridiculous. She's wearing this like schoolgirl, you know, like uniform, and she does go to a prep school. But as soon as you get to the school, you realize no one else is wearing a uniform. They're just wearing whatever the hell they want, and so that's so ridiculous.
Exploitation.
Yeah, she's full on schoolgirl, and none of them are. I mean, there's lots of things like that throughout the film. For instance, Rory is talking to these two little boys that are clearly like 8 years old or something. And then he turns to her and is like, shouldn't you be off the streets? It's almost midnight. But yet these little 8-year-old boys are okay. Okay. Like dad's
out on vacation.
Yeah, it's very disjointed and very weird. The story is just sad and horrific and weird and odd and told in an odd way. Not awful. I mean, I've seen a lot worse films, so I didn't hate it, but dear God, what a weird, odd movie for someone to write and make, I think. But like I said, the quality is good. The quality of the acting is good. So interestingly enough, I mean, I feel like some of it could have been cleaned up with the story. I mean, and she could have been a little older, because God bless that she started this at 12 years old. And okay, she does have these friends and stuff, but they seem like they genuinely care about her. What, one of them wouldn't take her in so that she could just go to school? I think the whole thing's odd and weird in that regard. But I do remember seeing the poster or something for this film. Never considered it because it didn't really seem like a horror film anyway, you know, based on that. I just looked like, you know, a sex film or something, I guess. When you're little, you know, that's what you think. So I never checked it out. I think I maybe would have liked it. No, I probably would have hated it. Like it was like, even there wasn't even enough killing. So yeah, I would have just thought probably ooh, because he's gross, I guess. But
okay.
I didn't hate it. I'm not sad I watched it, you know.
He sucks eggs. There's your serial killer.
I'm shocked that there's two more, to be completely honest with you.
Not when you saw The Prophet.
Too.
Yeah.
Not with the same actors either.
None of them are the same, yeah.
No.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that's fun. But I did love the ending, too. Oh, my God. Rory coming in to save the day was cool.
I could hear Jeff
sweet.
cheering from.
Oh my God. And then here she is coming in hot and heavy with this gun. The freaking police officer is like, stop. And she's like, and then she gets grabbed and she's like, help me. Hey, it's like, what? Oh, God, y'all.
And I am positive they shot more bullets than those revolvers can hold.
I definitely thought about counting the number of bullets.
Oh, God. Yeah. I mean, so there's lots of inconsistencies. That's all. But
Rory had 2 6-guns, so he could shoot 12.
That's right.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right.
Also,
Phil?
like whenever she fired the gun, it was like bam, you know, just like a cannon.
It was a big gun.
So I'd never seen this film because I'm pretty sure once you get a teacher's license, if they catch you renting a movie with that cover, they take your license away. That's one of the
Yeah.
greatest exploitation posters ever. So I went into this with Chad's attitude, and much to my shock and amazement, I came out with pretty much Jeff's attitude. I really enjoyed this movie. I think it is so much better than it had any reason to be. And maybe it's because I went in thinking this is going to be a sleazy exploitation movie about one of my least favorite subjects. So the serial killer had better be Hannibal the Cannibal. And instead, what sucked me into this movie is I really like the characters. And this movie, for a 1984 movie, is remarkably tolerant and loves its
that's
quirky,
true.
weird
It's nice.
characters.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got a transvestite, Dick Shaw, who's just steals every scene he's in, except when he's with Susan Tyrrell, where it's a tie. She's completely out there. I love Rory Calhoun. I even like the yo-yo guy. Everyone is cool. If anything, it's probably a little romanticized about what street people are really like. But okay, that's fine. They made the brilliant decision to hire a 25-year-old woman who looks like she's 12 trying to be 14 and not show her naked, which they legally could have done because she was 25 years old, but they didn't. And that was smart. They weren't afraid about nudity. It's got some of the most gratuitous nudity I've ever seen. Here's a scene in a girl's locker room and everyone except Angel is naked. But that's good because that would have taken it just a step too far. It wasn't necessary. The character is likable. We understand the situation she's in. This is kind of like Taxi Driver meets the little girl who lives down the lane with a little tiny bit of Death Wish thrown in there too. Should have been a bit more of that, actually. We didn't get to the serial killer. On the one hand, is a little disappointing because I was hoping for something really out there. Although, again, they tell us he's a necrophiliac who mutilates people. I mean, okay, I don't really need to see that. That's stuck in my head. So, okay, we've established.
We see him with garbage bags with body parts. There's a head.
So the stakes are high, but except for the egg sucking scene where he's looking at a picture, I guess, of his mom or something, we really don't get any motivation.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, we don't get a motivation. And I'm kind of cool with that because you know what? Not every serial killer needs to tell us his origin story. I had a bad childhood. Well, boo freaking who? Most of us didn't become necrophiliacs. And besides, I think we really did get his origin story because when the police detective earlier on is like, what do you think about this guy? Well, I think ... And he just fills in all the blanks and you're like, yeah, that's pretty much him. That's this guy. I just really appreciate a movie that has so much affection for its weird characters and doesn't treat them like freaks, treats them like real people. They are outsiders in society. And most exploitation movies would exploit them and just let us see their quirks and their weirdness and not show any of the humanity there. And this one, I genuinely felt bad when Dick Shawn got offed. I mean, he was a good character.
Oh yeah, me too.
He put up a good
That was
fight
horrible.
and he obviously, loved Angel. Yes, you're right that all these people cared about her. They probably should have taken a little bit more care, but these people are living on the edge too. The one who's doing best is Rory Calhoun, who's like, look at this fantastic dump that he's living in there. And everyone's like, wow, that's great. What the hell are they living in? I used to be a cardboard box, but now I've got this empty, dump here. But I gotta say, I was watching it at a certain point. I'm like, I'm liking this movie. Did not see that coming. So I thought they did a good job. I don't really have any desire to see the sequels, although the premise of the second one is actually a pretty good one. If you're going to do a sequel, that's a good premise. But I looked at the trailer and the replacement they got for Angel. Nah, I don't even think she was the best, all that terrific an actress in this. She was fine, but she was completely, outshadowed by the other quirky characters. But that's all right. The only thing about this movie, every high school movie drives me crazy because I work in a high school and I know that high schoolers, most of those high school, the little nerdy guy who keeps trying to ask her out. He was 50 years old if he was a day. He is too old to be a teacher at that school, much less a student. Give me a break. She looks so much younger than everyone else there. So, but yeah, I enjoyed it. I would not have watched this movie if you hadn't forced me at gunpoint. So thanks, Jeff. That's actually
Well, good.
Even my wife liked it, and she's not always a big fan of the movies that I watch for this show.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the thing that I thought was so it is an exploitation movie, yet, like you said, the character that's supposed to be 14 or 15 years old, we never see her nude. Not only do we never see her nude, we never actually even come close to turning the trick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But she just talks about it.
But she dumps, she spots the cop. She kisses off another guy who's not going to pay enough. The other guy, we find somebody dead in the bathroom. So that sort of that whole thing. And there's the, it's not really a necrophiliac scene, but from what they say, you go, oh,
yeah,
her friend laying on the bed with a cover on her. He pulls the cover back, and you see breasts. And then there's the other one where the girl who gets killed, Lana, comes out.
Was the one,
totally naked, and then man, the position they had her in the bathtub when Angel found her, or Molly, that kind of hit me too, as being sort of gruesome. And then you had the 2 locker room scenes, which were just silly.
Yeah. Woof.
Well, I
And
feel
then
like they were.
then the high school boys too.
Oh, they were. Big.
God. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What self-respecting high school boy would piss his pants and then go back and tell on himself?
I know.
Angel should have been like, "You keep my secret, I'll keep your secret."
Well,
in the end of it.
Look, in his defense, he obviously wasn't very bright because he's 30 and he's still a high school senior.
It's true.
Yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm.
All right, well, let's look at that poster we've all kind of seen.
Oh,
wait a minute, before we do that.
What? Oh, that's right.
No, it's poster time.
No, I don't think it is.
What?
It's poster.
Well,
time.
there's this other thing we do.
Yeah.
I
Posters,
forget about. I get into
images. What do you call them? Give me a clue here.
Well, it's a special thing that we do called Taglines with Chad, played by Chad his own self.
Yep.
Okay, let's get this over with.
Say it with love, like you feel for this movie.
Taglines for Angel are as follows: high school honor student by day, Hollywood hooker by night. Angel.
Okay. I mean, it's on the nose for sure.
Yeah, that's
Her 2 worlds are about to collide. It's her choice, her chance, her life. Angel.
Okay, it's only because of the way you said Angel, though.
You're young, attractive, and healthy, and swimming in a toilet bowl. Angel.
Does it really say that? Does it really say
the cop
that?
says that, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh my. Okay. That's funny.
Yeah, everything's going for you. You're swimming in a toilet bowl. Okay.
Prostitution is a deadly business. Angel.
And it is. What can we say? And that's been Taglines with Chad.
Chad's our hero, cool and rad. With him reading taglines, they can't be that bad.
Better. Mm-hmm.
Angel.
Angel.
Happy.
3,000 years BC. Angel.
All right. Well, let's look at that poster I showed before or started to show. And yeah.
Oh my God.
She looks you can tell she's short by these photos.
Yeah, she is like 5'2" or something.
Cute. Yeah, she's cute. But look at that outfit, and even the saddle, like the saddle shoes and stuff. It's so ridiculous. And the pigtails.
All she needs is a nun's habit or something on the left side. It's. I mean, she looks like she's 12, and then she looks like she's 12 with makeup on. It's so sleazy.
She looks like one of those beauty pageant kids.
It's like if you saw this poster, you're like, well, that's putting my butt in the seat. It's like as soon as the lights go down, they'll immediately come up and there's a bunch of cops and they just take everyone in the theater. It's like, all right.
As
like,
they should.
Yeah.
I remember seeing this and I was going, I want to see if there's one woman in the movie theater watching this movie. I bet it's all lecherous old fat guys.
Yeah.
You should
See,
go to
that's
the
so
theater.
Funny because it's total. And my brothers, like, they were the ones renting the movies for me, and they didn't even like.
It's like you should go into the theater, you sit down, and just when you think the movie's going to start, that guy, Chris Jansen, comes out, and it's like To Catch a Predator. He starts interviewing you.
They immediately want to check through your freaking computer history.
I do want to point out, I never rented this one, so I was always a Rory Calhoun fan, but I was clueless of his horror cred until I saw
Motel Hell, right?
Until I saw Motel Hell, and I believe I don't remember if I rented it from the video store or saw it at a drive-in first. I think I rented it first, and then it came around to the drive-in. So then now, flash forward a bunch of years, and we have IMDb, and I can look stuff up, and I go, oh, what's this? And it's like serial killer stuff. So then I watched it, and the cover would not have attracted me. There's nothing on there on this poster to indicate,
it just looks like a Skinamax, Skinamax for perverts.
It does, it does. But then we have this poster.
Oh, I never saw that.
Which is a little
hooker with a gun, Angel.
Yeah, Hooker with a Gun's actually not a bad title either.
Mm-mm.
Well,
I might have picked it up and watched it.
Team up with Hobo with a Shotgun. That'd be great if those two team together. It's like, he's a hobo with a shotgun. She's a hooker with a gun.
Oi, the traffic.
Well, that gives you an idea of the
yeah,
et cetera. Now this one, the what do you call it? The little.
Yeah, so
not too sharp a focus, but
okay. It was clever of him to shave his head and blend in with the Hare Krishnas. That was a good.
That made a good scene too when he's fighting with John. They're both dressed in this like pink chiffon. He's got the robes on, and Dick John had his May clothes on, dress and that stuff, which was close to the same color.
I have no idea about this poster. I mean, I found it, and all I can think is this is like an alternate thing. You could bring this DVD home, and your wife won't slap you.
Well,
it looks
it's
like
weird
it's a
that
serial
it's
killer
Angel
movie.
Killer. Angel Killer. Like maybe. Do you think it was just maybe concept?
I don't know. I mean, it looks like a real poster. But
yeah, we'll end the killer. Well, then
I mean, definitely ramps up the horror element.
Here's the sequel.
Oh, why is she squatting in the like?
Hold my hair while I do this.
What the fudge?
She's got the hair, doesn't she?
That's just weird. Like who posed her? Surely she didn't do that on her own. I don't believe it.
I think they were running out of money by the time they got to Angel 3.
Well, I'm trying to remember too. What was the other one? What was the fourth one called?
The fourth
There's a
one.
Fourth one?
There is. I think it was supposed to be like a TV pilot.
Well, it's like 20 years later. Is the one I saw.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I thought it was called Angel, but I'm not seeing it now.
So it's Angel now 35 years old, and
yes. And a cop or a private detective or something,
And she like rescues girls off the streets? I guess you could.
I didn't watch it. Here it is, Angel 4 Undercover. 1994, so 10 years later, I guess. Now a police photographer.
Oh.
Why wouldn't she have just become a cop? That's ridiculous.
I don't know.
Photography's more glamorous.
Yeah.
He assumes
for Angel
identity to find the killer.
Hey, joke's on you, Crystal. She's the photographer who did the cover for Angel 3.
Probably, yeah.
I pose myself this way.
That's crazy, y'all.
And by the way, Rory Calhoun is in the sequel,
Angel,
but not any of the other ones. if that makes any difference to anybody.
But they couldn't get. Was it Deborah? What's the
Wilkins.
Wilkes? Yeah, you got Wilkes.
Wilkes.
She wanted too much money for
Too much
Avenging
money, yeah.
Angel, so they replaced her.
Donna.
Yeah. And the director was not happy that they did not pony up the money. He thought that was a mistake.
Okay. So you've got something
Granger.
here. Let's do the written by, which is, I assume these are the director that was written by. The director.
Yeah. He didn't direct a whole lot of stuff, but look at these: Vice Squad, What Waits Below, and my favorite, The Mighty Gorga. Okay, you have not seen crap until you see The Mighty Gorga, where they have a guy in a bad ape suit fighting a dinosaur, and they didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. So you might say, how did they possibly pull off a dinosaur? Did they get a dinosaur suit? No, they got like one of those little toys that you squeeze the trigger and it's got a dinosaur mouth that goes. That's
What?
the gun.
No,
They
you're
hold-
lying.
Oh,
No way.
I'm going to send you a link and you will eat your
Oh,
words.
God.
You was a lie, Bill.
Save some of your drinks so you can wash down those words.
like that is ridiculous. Okay, come
Yeah.
on.
So kind of interesting crossover here. The director for Vice Squad is Gary Sherman, who directed Dead and Buried.
That's right.
And the writer is the writer-director of Angel.
Okay.
Vice Squad made a lot of money too. I think Vice Squad, I feel like that was the one that kind of started a whole series of those kind of gritty street crime.
Well, I
budget.
started watching it because I wanted to see the connection because Gary Sherman seemed to be proud of it. And I got about 15, 20 minutes into it and I quit. But
Well,
I mean, if Rory
Quitters never win.
it needed more Rory Calhoun.
Yeah. Anyway, I will check it out at some point. So yeah, he didn't do much in terms of directing. I think he had maybe like 8 credits, and
Which is surprising when of course, sometimes you think maybe this guy made enough money on Angel. Maybe he had his fingers in a lot of it and just said, yeah, I got my money. Time to sit back, kick back and relax.
I mean, good for him.
Yeah.
I guess,
Is that an actual picture of Gorga
Yep.
from the movie?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's pretty moth-eaten.
Looks like she's going to somebody's mom steps through the kitchen door and goes, anybody want pizza rolls?
Oh, wow.
what's that other one?
What Waits Below, which sounds interesting. It's got a great poster. I'll bet the movie sucks, but that's a cool title and a cool poster. But I've never really heard anything about it, which is usually not a great sign.
Look at all the
Agreed.
tentacles.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We also have one here for the producer.
Oh,
Yeah, because this guy, he did a lot of stuff, more than I could fit on there. And I mean, look at this. These are some.
Donald Borchers.
Yeah, that's not a name that really comes to mind, but we
These
did
are
the
some-
evil. He made a fortune with Children of the Corn. We did Vamp. Leprechaun made a series, and everyone
Beastmaster, come on.
loves Beastmaster.
Yep.
This guy did a bunch of stuff.
hmm Leprechaun is respectable.
Yeah.
I like it. hmm
Until he went.
Well,
to
Two.
they all have, we have spawning franchises. I mean, holy cow.
Mhm.
Little Witches.
Little
Oh, yeah?
Witches. Sounds
I remember that.
familiar.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah,
So
made a lot of films.
people involved. I thought I saw something. Oh, and Leprechaun 2. All right. Oh, Susan Tyrell is in The Demolitionist, which he was a producer of. Robert Kurtzman directed it.
From KMB?
I would think so.
Hmm.
All right. Let's take a look. We got more stuff here. Bill has.
I found a lot of stuff with this.
You did. So let's Donna Wilkes. And there she is in Angel, looking high schooly in the bottom.
Yep.
little older at the top, and that's
and looking like a high schooler who's stealing her sister's makeup on the top. I mean, she's just got a young face. She was perfect for this role. And you got to figure when they cast her, they're like, "Oh, this is great. She looks like she's 14, but she's 25. We can have her butt naked." But again, a wise decision on somebody's part not to do that.
Yeah.
That
I
would have
agree.
taken us right out of the movie.
Peter Jason is the John in that picture. I couldn't think of his first name.
Was that his brother, Dick's brother?
Dick Jason.
It could be. You know that story, Kristen?
No.
There was a character in a movie we did on Classic Hero. The cop's name was Dick Jason. And we
Okay.
haven't been able to let it
Sucks.
drop since then.
Well, it's kind of awesome. I mean,
and the screenplay was written by 2 women. So hey.
Yeah.
of course it was.
That was I bet that was a bet. I bet one of those, like, they're not going to let us do that. It's like, no, try it. Just stick it. And then they had to go with it.
See. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I know you got some other stuff here for her. Let me scroll down to it. Here's some other movies.
There's some other stuff she was in.
And this poor, even when she was even younger, she played Klaus Kinski's daughter
In Schizoid.
in Schizoid. Yeah.
I remember her from Jaws 2.
Yep.
She's one of the kids on the sailboats.
Oh, yeah. She was the girlfriend, wasn't she?
Yeah, she's the one that kind of froze up when the
Yeah.
I hope to
Wow.
God her experience working with Klaus Kinski was not as horrifying as it could have been. She kept making movies, so I'm guessing it was all right. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't read any stories like that on her. Her bio wasn't
Good.
Much detail. Apparently, she got out of movies in the 90s to raise her daughter, and then made some more later on, like around 2010.
I mean, she's I think around 65 now. I've seen some pictures. She's still younger looking than her age, still has recognizable. And
She has there's an interview on the Blu-ray with her. So I don't know what the year was, but yeah. Klaus Kinski, my God, I just can't even imagine that.
Nightmare.
And there was another one I wanted to mention. She played the older daughter in Hello Larry for 14 episodes.
McLean Stevenson.
Yeah, it was then replaced by somebody else. I don't know what the deal was there.
Oh, she got out while the getting was good. I'll bet McLean Stevenson wished he could have dropped out of that dud. Can I go back to MASH? They could find me alive on a desert island or something.
But I'm thinking this. Have you seen Blood Song?
I haven't.
Mm-mm.
Trying to see who was that.
It's a wretched poster, but maybe the movie's good.
Richard Jekyll's in it.
When he whistles this tune, the time for killing begins.
There you go. 14 episodes of Days of Our Lives where she played a drug addict.
Oh.
Had an arc right about the same time this was done. And actually, I was reading about her. She apparently she was pretty smart or something, but she moved to Dominican Republic. Her middle name is Consuela, and she's got some Dominican background or blood or something. Graduated from whatever the heck you go to in Dominican Republic when she was 14, which they said was early. And then she moved to LA on her own and couldn't find jobs. So
this is the plot of Angel.
Now, wait a minute. She told everybody she lied and told them she was 18 and got a couple different jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Not prostitution.
No, good. Well, she could have lied and said she was 12. That would have been more believable.
And then there was one other one I looked at, and I'm trying to remember what.
Oh, good for her.
Oh,
Yep.
Grotesque.
What?
Grotesque in 1988, which starred Linda Blair and Tab Hunter.
Yep.
Oh.
Interesting there.
I got that one there. It's an interesting.
A gang of crazed punks.
Yeah. Is there any other kind?
slaughters the entire family except for one daughter.
That was their mistake.
Yeah.
Little
Why?
did they know
She's going to come back for revenge.
in a former life had been Angel's serial killer.
That old 80s trope of that's what all punks look like.
Yeah.
Apocalyptic punks.
Yeah.
They've got these. It's so great when old guys make a movie and they have no idea. Like, so it's like, a punk rocker. They'll have a mohawk and that David Bowie lightning thing.
Yeah.
That looks like no punk ever. God, go to CBGB's and just hang out for a while and get a flavor for it, you idiot. They look like Adam Ant's backup singers.
And you had a few more pictures here. A couple more. Now I thought that was a good shot. That was good.
Yeah, that's a great shot. See, that's what I'm saying. That's nicely composed. It's nicely shot. The cinematographer, if you get a chance, look him up. I have a feeling this person went on to do bigger and better things. They've got the eye. It comes through. I'm just talking out of my butt here. It may turn out he immediately went back to shooting porn. I don't know.
Let me ask your question.
The only shot I had an issue with was when the serial killer was working out and he actually followed him raising it, and it was too close, too much movement, so it made me feel a little sick. And I don't think that was their intention, but that was fine. I mean, I'm just saying that was my only shot that I actually was like,
which is that again?
Crazy. There's a shot of the serial killer working out, and the camera follows his. If it goes down and up like that, and it kind of made me. But then it like pans around to his face, and I did like that.
And he sucked an egg.
Yeah, that was disgusting. I don't know why that was so gross to me.
Well, and again, this is according to the director that he came in. They were having trouble casting that character, and Deal came in, and they said, "Well, let's." They told him to come back and to bring in something to do. That's what
he sucked an egg. That's
I'd hire him on the spot. That's brilliant.
Deal is a good actor, and he didn't have much to go with in this, and that was disappointing to me too. I've always liked John Deal.
Mm-hmm.
So the cinematographer, Andrew Davies, he won an Oscar as Best Director for The Fugitive.
Oh, what do you know?
So not too much later, he also directed like Under Siege.
That was a great looking film. Yeah.
I don't see a lot of other ones. The Final Tear, didn't we bring that up a while ago? It's 1983. So he directed that and was a cinematographer in this one. So he only has 13 credits as cinematographer, and Angel was the last one.
Oh, see there, yeah, that's crazy.
And then he went on to become a director and won an Academy Award.
He was director and cinematographer for The Final Tear. And maybe his real name, I don't know. His credit as cinematographer on The Final Tear was Andreas Davidescu.
Davidescu. That's a cool name.
Mana.
Oh my God! It just keeps coming up. So I did this in '70s, Chris. So you probably don't know about this, but
you're talking about something else.
Mansion of the Doomed.
Oh, geez, that one.
It's the movie that Michael Pataki directed that starred Richard Basehart and Gloria Graham. He was the cinematographer for that.
Oh.
I watched that based on finding out about it when we did a '70s. And Richard Basehart is a surgeon who's an eye specialist. And the course of the movie, there's like 6 different eye transplants.
Oh God, that sounds crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, that's funny. God, it just amazes me how this stuff all
circles back.
So anyway,
all roads lead to Rory.
We'll get there. Cliff Gorman.
I thought he was good.
Yeah.
So he won an Obie, the off-Broadway, for Boys in the Band in the late 60s. And I believe, did he win an Oscar or was nominated for an Oscar? And then he also won a Tony Award because he played Lenny Bruce on stage in Lenny.
Yeah, and then he got ripped off when they made the movie and they hired Dustin Hoffman instead when Bob Fosse directed that. So to make up for that, when Bob Fosse did his amazing movie, All That Jazz, he hired him to play the Lenny Bruce character from the movie that the Roy Schneider character, who's supposed to be Bob Fosse, made in the movie. It's convoluted, but he was good in it. He would have been fantastic. He probably would have gone into superstardom if he'd starred in Lenny. But of course, they need a real big name actor.
He didn't have the name then, right? So,
that's got to suck though. When you're on Broadway, you're doing something, you're good at it, you are acknowledged, you get you get their version of an Academy Award basically. But then when it's time to make the movie, no, we're gonna hire this person.
So what's the movie in the bottom shot with Roy Scheider?
All That Jazz.
Of course.
Which is a fantastic movie. Great movie. I love Bob Fosse. He's one of my favorite non-horror people.
So yeah, I thought he did a pretty good job, believable job as this cop, right? But
yeah.
I don't know.
Likable.
I thought he was good.
He looks exactly like my ex-husband. So is he Italian?
I don't think so.
It would shock me if he's actually not of Italian descent. Like, that's how much he looks like my ex-husband.
Wow.
I'm like, well, you could probably see when you look at Mason. Mason looks nothing like me. He looks like his dad.
Totally. Well, his name was Joel Joshua Goldberg.
Oh. So he...
Boy, the traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's cool.
But he's got the dark complexion and the black hair, yeah.
And there's something about like the lips and the eyes for me. Crazy.
He played mob characters several times. So he had he was born in New York or Brooklyn, I think. So he had the accent. All right, Dick Shawn.
Oh man, this guy.
He was wonderful.
And the bottom two are great movies too.
Great movie. The Producers, where he played Hitler. Greatest Hitler ever. And he steals the movie It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, which is hard to do because he's co-starring with everybody. But that's
Ethel Merman's son, right?
Yeah. And the thing I think I love the most about him, and I'm not trying to be sarcastic or anything. He's one of those people who literally died on stage entertaining people.
Yes.
He was doing a one-man show, and at a certain point, he had
a heart attack.
He had a heart attack. He fell down on the stage, and everybody laughed, and they kept on laughing, and minutes went by because this was the kind of thing that he would do. And then at some point, they're like, "Okay, joke's gone on a little too long." Yeah.
He even told the state he was famous for ad-libbing stuff too. He was sort of like an early version of maybe Robin Williams,
Yes.
Winters. And he told the stage crew, the stagehands, don't worry if don't do anything if something looks like,
don't ruin the gag.
And there was, I think in that show, or was it another show he did, where between acts, he dies in the show, and between acts, he lays on the stage motionless the entire time.
Well, then that makes sense as to why. Yeah. That sucks.
It sucks, but at the same time,
he might not have died though if he died.
That's true. But you die doing what you love. I mean, I like it when actors are able to the bitter end. Boris Karloff, whatever. Just keep right on going. Not just fade away and be forgotten or anything, or in an old actor's home. But he was great. Now, he never really starred in that much. He was such a great character and a character actor. I don't know. They never found the right venue for him.
Yeah, the thing I was reading about said he was kind of he was hard to take in large doses. Like that's why he had to become in these bit parts where he played these crazy people that throw in some comic relief and some craziness. But if he was the guy doing that the entire time, the director said they really shot this. I mean, $1 million seems like a lot, but they shot this on kind of a shoestring. And the director said most of the time they used one camera and then did pickups. And they used a Airflex that had, you could only shoot like 3 minutes. Long shot, if that does that ring a bell, Bill, or something. And anyway, but with him, they had to use 3 cameras because he changed shit so much.
Yeah.
And they tried to do the pickup shot from different angles. He changed the dialogue, and he changed his jokes and everything, and it wouldn't. They couldn't cut it together. So
it's like the stuff with him and Susan Terrell. Again, we've said this before about other things. It feels improvised. Maybe it wasn't, but it feels that way, and that gives it a, I don't know, gives it.
Well, they were great. They were great in that scene where they're together. I was laughing out loud. Yeah.
And if anyone hasn't seen the original producers, because now probably a lot of people think of it with the Matthew Broderick version and everything, you got to watch the original. I saw that on TV. It was late at night. I'd heard about it. I wanted to see it. And I think that might have been the most I ever laughed up to that point.
When they start singing Springtime for him.
I was like the audience with just my mouth hanging open. It was so damn funny.
Okay. Well, on to who we're also talking about. Susan. Is it Tyrell?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
She is not afraid to make herself look less than attractive. We got to do Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker at some point.
I was looking at that and she looks creepy as.
That's a shocker of a movie. It's shockingly good. And yeah, I don't want to give anything away. But so I looked her up about, her thing, and this is someone who had big success almost immediately and then seemed determined to not take advantage of it. I think she was nominated for an Academy Award with one of her first roles. I can't remember.
Yeah, for Fat City.
A legit film. And then was not too crazy about the stuff that was offered to her. She was very quirky. That's not just her acting. She was genuinely quirky and would do as many roles as it took to keep a roof over her head and not much else. And and that appealed to those independent filmmakers like John Waters and folks. She would do something like that and do a performance like what she did in this film, which could have been done 100 different ways, but this is the only way.
Oh, she's so good. I mean, just one of the things that really struck me is when they're playing cards and the teacher comes to the door. And she gets up to go answer the door. Her whole body language, she's kind of hunched over. She scratches her butt, and just everything was just so good. She did such a good job creating that character.
She played Chris Christopherson's wife in Big Top Pee-wee.
Oh, she's the miniature.
She was the little tiny woman. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, she's Crystal.
Yeah. Crybaby. I didn't see what all you had on there.
Forbidden Zone, which is a weird movie.
Yeah, though she's in some really oddball. Just by looking at the title,
She had a heart attack too. Damn.
Don't you love those drawn on eyebrows? Hers.
I do actually. Okay, I don't like.
I like them. I really do.
So my eyebrows actually have that shape, and that's actually the shape of my eyebrows. They're not as crazy as what she draws, but my eyebrows really do do that. They kind of go like a villain already.
And yet you don't look villainous though.
Look closer, Bill.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm like, that's very sweet. But I mean, it is interesting because I'm like, I guess what I appreciate about it is I can obviously tell that's not the shape of her eyebrows. So I appreciate that she appreciates that shape of eyebrows.
Well, her hair, everything about her, she was a unique.
I love her paintings. Her paintings look like something I could do, paint by number.
Now look at her brows there, though. That's crazy. You can see
Um,
her.
She don't
her
care.
actual
She's
brows.
like, yeah, I drew him like that. So fucking what?
Yeah,
like-
it's crazy.
She didn't even bother
It's
shaving her
crazy.
original eyebrows to draw. It's like
I
when
know.
Cesar
I
Romero
know,
just
I know.
painted
her
over
real
his
eyebrows
mustache.
like come out like that's wild.
And she has those glasses that only have one temple that's hanging around her neck. And she just picks them up and holds them up there for a minute. They don't.
Like a monocle.
Yeah, just about.
And she and Dick Shawn were gold together.
They were.
I could watch a
Yeah.
whole movie just with them.
Speaking of John, I found this. It's not a very good picture, but there was a show that they did 2 different pilots for that never caught on, called Me and Mrs. Dracula.
Wow.
And Dick
Was
Shawn
it them
played,
too? Is that them? So awesome.
Dick Shawn played Dracula, and Carol,
Okay.
what is her name? I think she was Steve Lawrence's wife, Carol Lawrence, darn.
Oh.
And then they got somebody else in to play it, the second pilot, and then it was never picked up. So they made 2 pilots of it. And when I looked through it, they have it listed as one item, and Dick Shawn's the only one who says 2 episodes. Everybody else was changed. So I don't know. Maybe they react well.
Didn't get
to
picked
it.
up, huh? Well, in fairness, it sounds like a terrible idea.
I have no idea what the actual premise was and why am I not seeing it? Me and Mrs. Dracula. I'm just like, I think it was, that says 80, 81. Though it never made it to actual weekly series. 2 pilots were shot for this sitcom, which Dracula moves his family from Transylvania to the USA.
Oh God.
And there's a picture on the page of a bat, but it looks like a Muppet bat. You know, it's furry and anyway.
This that sounds pretty dire.
I would like to see it though.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you? All right. Back to Susan. Finish Susan. I think we did. Yeah. Look at those. And now to Rory Calhoun.
At last.
The many faces in the shot. Oh, that top picture must be from the sequel.
Second one, yeah.
Oh, so he was in the
Oh,
sequel.
you're right.
Okay.
You're absolutely right. That is from the sequel. Derp. Well, once again, my face blindness betrays me.
That's all right.
Yeah,
That's
that looks
okay.
like Donna
I would have
Wilk.
thought it looks the same. I wouldn't have not, honestly. I would have picked it too.
Well, his uniform in this one pretty much was wearing that buckskin jacket.
Yeah, because we noticed that, Jeff. Okay, like we can't tell the difference between that and that freaking rhinestone cowboy thing he's got going on there. They look the same.
Okay.
My favorite part of his character is how he keeps talking about actors that no one would know about. He's like talking to these 8-year-old kids, like, I worked with Tom Mix and Elmo Lincoln.
So
And it's like,
cute.
listen, if that kid isn't young Jeff Mohr, he has no idea who you're talking about.
So
I'm
that's
telling you, my
exactly
dad used to tell me about Tom Mix.
that middle scene is the one I'm talking about. Look at those little kids, and then she's clearly older, and he's like, "Shouldn't you be?" What about those little heathens you're talking to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Blaming on their dad.
Yeah.
You know, I will
All
say
right.
one thing. I once got lost in New York. Zigged when I should have zagged, didn't know how subways worked, found myself in a bad section of town. And I was out there with the street people, you know. It was late. Yeah, it was late at night. I mean, I didn't realize it at the time because I was raised in upstate New York and basically had the street smarts of an elf. But I'm out there and they were so nice to me because they could just look at me and
Until you were like
clearly
lost.
did not belong there. And what I now realize was almost certainly a transvestite hooker basically led me to the subway and told me exactly where I needed to go and, you know, waved goodbye and could not have been nicer. I mean,
don't come back here anymore, white boy.
That's right. It basically, they were just having a good chuckle at themselves that I just look so pathetic. Now, when I'm on the subway train, by the way, another street person walked up to me, a well-dressed man with a suitcase that he opened up and had, and I'm not joking here, every drug that has ever been invented and some that have yet to be invented. I mean, it was a thing of beauty, and he was just offering it. And I'm like, I couldn't believe that you would just openly walk up to someone. Clearly, I did not look like an undercover cop. And-
Okay, but just in New York last year, we had a dude. Well, not me, Sean. He's like, "Hey, you look like a fun guy. Would you like some cocaine?"
There you go. Yeah.
I mean,
You
they
look
do
like
it
a
all the
fun guy.
time. Yeah, and I was like, oh fuck, It's like, Sean's
Yeah.
like, what? I was like,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, man. No, we're good. Thanks,
What-
though. And he's like, well, I thought y'all might
So,
want to have some fun.
Yeah. I just
Well,
want to say, it's just like, I think that this
He
movie
didn't
sort
look
of
like that was
it kind of glamorizes the street life. But I will say that in my experience, those folks have always been, those outsider folks that life has not always been fair to, have always been very sweet to me.
Yeah,
So,
me too. Mm-hmm.
I was
Now,
in the
that story
Bahamas
could end
once
up
when we
differently.
got off the boat at the Bahamas. This guy rose up to the dock in a boat and he goes, "Coke in a conch?"
Coke in a
What?
cock. That's even Coke
I
in a
said,
cock.
"What? Conch, like a conch shell?" He had a big conch shell, and inside was a plastic bag.
Coke
He's
in a
going-
conch.
You can't bring them back. They won't let you bring them on the ship.
Yeah.
What, cocaine? Of course not.
No, the conch shells, like you can't. Yeah.
Oh
they
my
have
God.
to be like special. They're you can buy them apparently like because apparently people were taking all the conch shells off the beaches. So
because
Yeah.
They're delicious.
everything if you give them a chance.
Yeah.
yep. You know,
Steal the sand if you let them.
For
I did
real.
it when I was a junior in high school. I did a trip to New York. I think it was 1970. I was 16. A busload of kids, and we had to wear a sports coat and a tie because we were
Oh,
going.
God.
We were
Oh.
going to the UN. It was the UN trip.
So you look like Mormon missionaries.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and our hotel was on 42nd Street.
Woohoo.
Down the UN was down at one end, kind of, and then there was a couple times we had open time. So we're out. We went to a diner together, and the guy that waits on us he serves us and goes, "I can tell you guys are from out of town."
You think?
So I just thought I'd let you know. You leave a 15% tip here in New York.
Yeah.
Oh, and then there was the other guy that,
Or I'll knock the hayseed right out of your teeth.
Yeah.
this guy that had hair like his hair was kind of like Ratso Rizzo in Midnight Cowboy, and he jumps out around the corner and is like doing one of these. I'm out of money and I got to get back to Fort Dix, New Jersey before my leave's over. I'll be AWOL. Do you have some change? It's like, no, we don't have any change. And we're like going, he left and we're like, that guy's not the army. What the hell?
Bad cover story.
All right, enough of that. So
reminiscence.
here's some movies. Yeah.
Here's some Rory.
And
Motel.
I'm warning you now, I'm gonna pick Hell Comes to Frogtown at some point.
Okay. Well, it's got Roddy Piper.
It does.
Yeah.
It's nuclear apocalypse kind of shit. So
We got everything
haven't I
from.
seen Revenge of Bigfoot?
Oh God, it's terrible. It's
I've
pretty
never even
terrible.
heard of that one.
Yeah, I think that was a paycheck. And of course, Night of the Lepus. Hey, can we make a rabbit look scary on the poster? Sure.
Yeah.
Could you imagine how burned you would be if you saw that poster? You're like, I'm in the mood for a good monster movie, something with lots of teeth. And then you go in there and it's a big bunny rabbit.
I don't own Hell Comes to Frogtown, but I do have the 4K of Motel Hell and a Blu-ray of Night of the Lepus.
I love Hell Comes to Frogtown. It's the stupidest movie I've ever seen, but it's got Roddy Piper in it.
Yeah.
And
It's not all bad.
Rory's character's name is Looney Tunes. There was another thing I was going to say. He was in, what's her name? Janet Leigh is in Night of the Lepus.
Mm-hmm.
And right before that, he made a movie with her. Well, he did an episode of Circle of Fear that included Janet Leigh, like right around the time of Night of the Lepus, a little bit afterwards, called Death's Head. Anyway, nobody cares, so let's go on. And lastly, we have John Deal, or Dial, I don't know.
Deal.
Dirty old egg sucking dog.
Zito from Miami Vice.
He was so great in that role.
He was. He was.
I don't remember him in Escape from New York. Who was he in that?
I think he was one of the punks.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he was the guy that gets eaten by the Spinosaurus in Jurassic Park 3. And they find his phone in the dinosaur poop.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
A memorable role.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Could it have been that his mother was a prostitute, and he was born from a John, and that's why he hates prostitutes so much?
Could be.
Well, he obviously has mommy issues, as all serial killers apparently do, you know. But it is a weird photo of the mom and the kid.
It
Look
is
at that.
weird.
Mm-hmm.
Then he kisses it with his nasty egg.
He's had some neat parts. He was a character in that series Dark Winds.
Yeah,
that's a Hulu thing that our buddy Dirk is going to be in the new season.
Oh, cool!
Comes out here in a couple months, based on Tony Hillerman's books in the Navajo Nation. Anyway, yeah, he had a big part in there,
and that was clever, like Crystal said, shaving his head and being a Hare Krishna. And it got me thinking. There was a time when there were a lot of Hare Krishnas. You'd go down New York City streets.
Yeah, you don't see him anymore. Any
Yeah.
airport.
Yeah.
Right. What happened? Did they?
Well,
saw him in the Des Moines airport.
it actually, like, I wouldn't have recognized him. Like, it was that good. Because I was like, what is he? He's
Well,
not
I
gonna be able
obviously
to,
would.
like,
Well,
blend in.
You know.
But like just the fact that I was like, yeah, I wouldn't have. I barely recognized him, knowing who the hell he was.
Well, it's like the invisible character. Too, you know? It's like the mailman or the whatever that are just around in society. That these guys all bouncing along.
Now, I thought it was a little implausible that this guy could break out of the police,
Lock up kind of thing,
and everything.
If I'm not mistaken, that's a revolver, and he put the first 6 shots in the first cop that he blew away.
Yeah. Very wasteful.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was another one. That was yeah.
If you're going to make that scene plausible, one of you better be like
that
Terminator.
Rookie cop with the coffee has his gun.
What a boner.
Batman pulled a boner.
Yeah, walk out alongside the guy she identifies. Yeah. All right. Well, folks.
Said that lady standing next to him acts like she could care less if she'd been taken hostage.
She didn't act real scared, if I remember right.
Yeah.
So yeah, he shoots up that police station. Pretty good.
Yep.
Shot it up real good.
Real good.
Yeah.
Last comments on this. This isn't a great movie, but I think it's kind of
I liked it. I really enjoyed it. I don't know that I'll necessarily be watching it again, but
right.
I can say that. I will never watch this movie again. Never.
I'm shocked that you found it like that bad. Like.
Well, I don't know. I love you guys, and if you liked it, hey, no harm, no foul. I've never say anything bad about you guys, but Jeff.
All right. It must be time for feedback.
It's feedback. We got feedback. Gotta scroll down.
We do. And the first one we have. God, I love people's names. First one is sort of a general comment from Mikey Z, making suggestions, which we do have in our list of suggestions, but I'll gladly put another check mark by it. Who wants to take that one? Chad?
Mikey Z says, hopefully the 80s Grue Crew will soon take on 2 films I've recommended in the past, Outland and Omen 3, The Final Conflict. Another non-horror. I swear I'm going to quit this podcast.
Outland is science fiction.
Also, maybe the last 2 in the Jaws franchise, or maybe Poltergeist 3. A lot of cheese in those last 3 mentioned, each with their own behind-the-scenes drama that was better than the released films. Thanks, Mike.
I got him, Mikey. I don't know. I'm just waiting for everybody. We rotate through.
Well, now I'm intrigued. I know about the behind-the-scenes drama.
Okay, episode 237, Poison for the Fairies from John Piper Boots.
Oh, yeah.
Bill.
Oh, okay. Mexican alternate revised ending. An ending was shot in which Veronica, the blonde, is rescued at the last second by the groundskeeper, after which the girls secretly swear never to tell what happened between them. The implication in the scene is that Veronica, having seen that Flavia, the brunette's, capacity for evil far exceeds her own, will now obey her. This ending can be found as an extra on the original Mexican DVD release. Where can I find this alternate ending DVD for sale? Veronica is rescued and saved. Heart, 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 heart.
Well, John Piper Boots, you've come to the right podcast because Jeff's probably got it in his collection.
Yep.
What do you think, Jeff?
Well, I had the Blu-ray, and actually, I just sort of trusted that it must not be on the Blu-ray if he's looking for it. I looked at DVDs on eBay that looked like they were Mexican, but none of them had that listed as a extra, anything like that.
Very intriguing.
So, and I'm not at the place. I might have to. I can't remember what the extras were on what I have is a 3-disc thing of the directors that has Rapina, Poison for the Fairies, and then I forget the title of the other one. It has the word dark in the title. I get them all mixed up. But thanks, John Piper Boots. And if anybody is listening, I know we have some people that are well versed and collectors. If they know what specific one that is, let us know.
Tell us on Facebook.
Help narrow the search. Episode 259, Santa Sangra from Emulous 79. Crystal.
This film is wild. I've never seen anything like it. Jodorowsky is a genius who here is out of who is out of his mind? Who here is out of his mind?
Because he did study as a mime.
Oh gosh, Jesus.
Wow.
Y'all, I'm like
Emulous.
No, Emulous
you
does
just
this.
broke my brain.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
We did the same thing last week. He made some comment that I didn't get part of it and Bill didn't get the other part.
Yeah. So between the two of us, we got nothing.
And then he replied and said, "Boy, I didn't know I was that clever."
Well, it doesn't help that when our age, you can't remember what you did yesterday.
That's right.
In the morning. So.
That was how many episodes ago? Crystal, why don't you go ahead and take the next one? These are
Okay, Mother's Day.
short.
The
Yep.
FD 180. This was actually one of my first 80s movies I watched when I was younger. A classic that rarely gets talked about. Really dug the remake as well. There's a remake?
Yeah.
Of Mother's Day?
Yeah.
I've not seen that. I'll watch
I
that.
haven't either.
Okay, I got to write that down. I didn't know there was a remake. So thank you, FD 180. Have a pleasant day.
Yeah, it's called The Dukes of Hazzard. Starring
Oh, are
Johnny
you
Knoxville.
messing
and-
with me? Okay.
No.
What?
What?
You're under my thrall.
With Jennifer Aniston and Kate Hudson.
Wow.
That can't be the same thing. 3 generations come together in the week leading up to
No.
No.
That's not a horror.
That's
not
horrible.
it. That's not a horror movie. Sorry.
I was like, oh.
Good. Maybe we'll do it on 80s one day.
That sounds horrible.
Oh, here's one.
That's funny.
That's
2010, starring Rebecca De Mornay, Jamie King, John Ashmore, directed by Darren Lynn Bousman.
That's got to be it. If it's Bowser.
Yeah, Rebecca was in a lot of horror movies.
Yeah,
for a
yeah,
while
she
there,
was.
right?
Yeah.
The poster is basically black with red font, Mother's Day, and then blood.
Blood.
It must be blood. I want to check that out. All right. And Crystal, why don't you take this one too? Another very
Okay.
short.
Cannibal Ferox by Machiavelli 4205. Nightmare City is kind of confusing. They aren't really zombies. They use weapons. I agree. They aren't really zombies. Well,
think-
zombies is so
You know,
confusing now.
yeah.
Like
Bill,
some zombies speak.
that
or
was from your
something,
history
you know.
thing, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And we will do that movie sometime because, I mean, who's to say zombies can't use weapons?
Well,
Yeah.
some zombies talk in some things and stuff too. I
Right,
mean,
right. Yeah.
I guess it's like what makes a zombie a zombie.
Romero
be
had
brain.
them using weapons in
Yeah.
City of the Dead. Was it City
Yeah.
of the Dead? The one where Dennis Hopper.
Land of the Dead.
Land of the Dead. Yeah.
So, and this makes me think of this. Crystal, I forget. It was opera. We were talking about crows and ravens.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I saw a video of I think it was a raven. There was a jar half filled with water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know
a
this
bunch
story.
of rocks around it, and the raven kept picking up rocks and dropping it in there to raise the water level until it got high enough
Aren't
that
they
he could.
so
drink
smart?
from it.
See.
I've had students who would not figure that out. They would just die.
That's probably sadly true. Mm-hmm.
Well, let's go to Chad for Dead Married from Robert Baker.
Robert says, this is one of the most atmospheric movies I have ever seen when I saw it decades ago. Is it weird that I actually wouldn't mind living in such a mist-shrouded town? I think I could deal with all the dead folks as long as they didn't try to add me to their numbers. I always thought this was a good double bill with John Carpenter's The Fog. Glad you gave it a revisit. Yeah. Thanks,
Great.
Robert.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's not a
I
bad
think
idea.
it feels similar to The Fog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now, thank you, Robert. Blue Monkey, which came out yesterday.
Blue Monkey.
That funky monkey.
277, Bill from Emulous.
Oh, here comes some more puns. Directed by William Fruit, commonly called the Williams Pair. See, I have no idea where you're going with this, Emulous. I really don't. I'm a simple man.
Yeah.
Steve Off the Rails back in the day. You need help.
You know what this reminds me of is Chris Berman on Sports Center used to make up.
Yeah, yes. No,
There was a pitcher named Bert Blyleven, and he always announced him as Bert Be Home by 11. Anyway.
And young Mr. Emulous looked at that and said, "This is my hero."
Yeah.
Anyway, Steve Off the Rails back in the day, the movies he got in. Nuki was pukey. Life Force was wackadoo but fun. And I just saw one. Yeah. I just saw one called Scissors that he was in. Has a scene in which Sharon Stone shoves a crow through an air vent in the ceiling. This is like the last testament of Dutch Schultz. You're just saying things that make no sense to me at all.
But I remember that. All right.
Really?
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Emulous.
And lastly, Eleanor C. Crystal.
To answer Jeff's question about the Czech title, Inseminator. Inseminator. Why am I laughing at that?
That was the Czech title for Blue Monkey. Yeah. And I said, what does that mean? We need Eleanor's help.
That was my nickname in high school.
Pretty much what you think it means, which makes no sense. So to get some explanation, I watched it with Czech dubbing to check whether there is some reference to this title. Nope, not a thing. By the way, the original title it shows in the copy I watched was Insect. Oh,
Yeah.
Well, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
I mean, because they kind of look, yeah. And the same goes for the Czech VHS cover I found. But it was so fun. So now I'll watch it again with the original language. I have to say I prefer the Czech title. See, this movie got last year when it was screened at Shockproof Film Festival. Oh, dear God. Spital Plunlebrek. That is not what she said. What she
That's
put there,
actually
but-
not bad. They do. I ran it through Google Translate to hear how it sounded. I couldn't say it.
And it translates to the hospital full of crawlies. Jeff, Google Translate comes up with a hospital full of idiots.
Well,
that
was
works.
actually accurate too.
Fair enough.
I think we should all pitch in and get the rights to re-release this movie and call it Purple La Cucaracha or something like that.
That actually makes sense. Yeah.
So thank you. Yeah, it was like Spital Pliny Brbrek. I don't know. they roll their R's, I think. But
It just shows you how much trouble you can get in. I mean, you're trying to call someone a crawly and you accidentally call them an idiot.
I don't
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I'm sure she is more correct in connection there. So appreciate it. Thanks, Eleanor. God, it's so great to have these.
Yeah.
It's great to hear from Eleanor.
People out there. Emil 79, once again, Robert Baker, and I love Machiavelli. And the FD 180, I got to know what that stands for. John Piper Booth, another first timer, I think, and Mikey Z.
Mikey Z.
Thanks for commenting. There's plenty of ways to stay in touch. Please send feedback to feedback@gruesomemagazine.com, or even better yet, leave comments on Gruesome Magazine's YouTube channel, or you can comment in Gruesome Magazine's HNRDO podcast Facebook group, or even on the website, gruesomemagazine.com. And just so people know, if you're taking in the YouTube channel only has the episodes that are in video, and we didn't start in video. And if you listen to it in audio, the audio podcasts only go back like 100 episodes is all they'll store. But if you want to go farther back, you can check out gruesomemagazine.com or decadesofhorror.com. So there.
Yep.
And also we have a Patreon channel. So for just a few dollars, you can get Decades of Horror, usually 10 to 12 days earlier than it goes public. It depends on our schedule if we get delayed for any reason in recording. And we just got done doing all 20 episodes of Kolchak, the Night Stalker.
Woo! It was fun.
And that 20th episode will go out to Patreon members on, it just went out. I think it went out yesterday. Dun, dun, dun. All right. And we're going to do something else. So if anybody's got any ideas on what we should do on 70s for another episode by episode type thing.
For God's sakes, don't suggest The Rebel or anything, any series with Rory Calhoun, or that's what
not
we'll end up doing.
That's not
Horror adjacent.
It is. Well, there's a guy in it that's been in horror movies. Okay.
Yeah, just pretend it's the character from Motel Hell when he was younger.
That's right. That's right. You can call him
God.
like Bill Longley, but his real name is Farmer Vincent. Well, Grue Believers, that's it for this episode. But every 2 weeks, we'll be focusing on a specific film released between 1980 and 1989. Next up is one chosen by Bill. What are we doing, Bill? Surprise, surprise.
Oh, look at this. I made a funny face and it literally froze.
Yeah, you're leaving it too.
Teach me. Yeah, I'm just going to go off looking like a leprechaun here. Just for Chad, I've decided, yes, it's the movie I know he wants to see. Angel 2, Angel of Vengeance. No.
No. Are you serious? Is that what we're doing?
No, we're not doing that.
That would have been awesome, though.
That would have been funny. It would have been worth it just to see the look on his face.
I would go out and see if I could contract syphilis from somewhere before I do that.
Well, it's doable. No, it's actually.
I know a street you could go to.
It's actually, as everyone knows, Suspiria is probably my favorite movie. So we're doing the sorta, kinda, if you take a lot of drugs and don't think about it much, sequel to Suspiria. It's Dario Argento's Inferno.
The second in the Mother trilogy.
We haven't done
That's
this.
right.
Tears trilogy.
And they should have ended the trilogy with the second movie, but
And be on the lookout for the largest, what do they call it for guys? Moose knuckle in movie history.
wow.
Knuckle?
In
You
this,
know this movie better than I do.
I do, but it's unavoidable. It's in your face so bad.
Oh, Moose
And
Knuckle
I was
in my
going,
face.
dude, loosen your belt up a little bit or something. Cheesy Pete.
Wow.
Well,
Stay
something to
tuned
look
for
forward to.
Yeah, something to look forward to. Oh, Lord.
Man.
Well, I'd rather watch Inferno any day than another
Yeah.
Angel movie.
Catch us again here in 2 weeks for another great horror movies of the 1980s. As only Decades of Horror can do it. Thanks everybody for being so flexible. Once again, we have to
No, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
adjust to match everybody's schedule.
Sorry, it's my
We're
fault.
busy little beavers.
Oh, you don't have to apologize.
It's okay.
Yeah. So,
Oh,
Jeff's a
Thanks.
bad sayer goodbyer.
he's
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah.
so
He
say
wants to
goodnight.
keep. He wants to keep talking about Rory. You could tell it's eating him alive.
Come on, I can't hold this expression forever.
oh my god. It's actually funnier the more you just. It's actually really
There.
cute. Like that's cute, Bill.
Adios.
Really, it's a cute.
There's-
Adios,
Yep.
amoebas.
Adios.
I'm waving.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Hey, you guys.
Bye.
Gruesome Magazine.